The first explosion hit the night like a punch. 1 second, the highway outside Newark was just dark asphalt and white lines. The next, a silver sedan ahead of Marco De Luca turned into a ball of fire. Brakes screamed all around him. His black SUV skidded sideways as he yanked the wheel and fought to keep control. Flames rose, orange and wild, licking at the sky. A second blast came from the front of the car. Shards of metal rained across the highway, bouncing off his windshield. "Boss, keep driving!" his driver yelled. "We don't know what that is." "Stop the car," Marco ordered, voice calm and final. The SUV came to a rough halt on the shoulder. Behind them, other cars stalled, doors opening as people leaned out, frozen between fear and curiosity. In front of them, the sedan burned bright, twisted in the middle of the road. Then he saw her, a dark shape on the asphalt, about 15 feet away from the flaming car. A woman. She was on her side, one arm stretched out like she had tried to crawl and collapsed halfway. Marco's chest tightened. He threw open the door. "Stay inside," his bodyguard, Ethan, snapped. "We don't know what we're walking into. Could be a trap, Marco." "Then they set the wrong trap," Marco said, already moving. The heat hit him the second his shoes left the shoulder and found the center lane. The air smelled like burnt rubber, gasoline, and something sharp and chemical that stung his throat. The fire crackled loud, hungry, swallowing what was left of the car. He jogged closer, scanning the scene the way years in his world had taught him to do. No other cars involved, no obvious shooter, no one running away, just that sedan, the fire, and the woman. She lay twisted on the asphalt, hair spilling around her in a black wave. The tips of it glowed faintly in the orange light. Her clothes were singed at the edges, but he could see enough to know they had been expensive. Slim black pants, fitted top, boots with metal zippers, and a gun. A compact handgun was tucked at her waist, half hidden under her shirt. His eyes found it before his mind had time to form the thought. Her fingers rested only inches from the grip. Marco slowed, raising his hand slightly to show he wasn't holding anything. "Hey!" he called out, voice low but firm. "Can you hear me?" No answer. He knelt by her, feeling the heat from the burning car at his back. The asphalt was hot through his pants. With care, he reached for her shoulder and rolled her gently onto her back. For a moment, all the noise around him faded. She was young, late 20s, maybe early 30s. Her skin was pale under the soot on her cheek. Blood trickled from a cut at her hairline, sliding along her temple and disappearing behind one delicate ear. Thick black lashes lay still against her cheeks, and her eyes, when they snapped open, were bright, sharp green. She inhaled hard, like someone breaking the surface of a deep pool. Her hand flew to his wrist on instinct, grip surprisingly strong. "Easy," Marco said. "You're safe. You're out of the car." Her gaze jumped from him to the fire, confusion and fear flashing across her face. "The car." Her voice was hoarse, cracked. "It blew up." "I noticed," he said. It pulled the corner of her lips up for half a second. Fear and pain dragged it down again. People were starting to shout from the other cars now. Someone yelled about calling 911. Someone else argued about the fire spreading. Sirens were faint in the distance, still far. "Boss," Ethan called from behind him. "We need to go. Cops are coming." Marco ignored him. He checked the woman's legs with quick, practiced hands. No obvious broken bones, but she jerked in pain when he touched her left side. "Ribs," she rasped. "Feels like they're on fire." "Welcome to the club," he said. "Can you move your toes?" She wriggled them in her boots. He nodded. Her hand, still gripping his wrist, trembled. "I can't remember." "What?" he asked. Her eyes searched his face, desperate, unfocused. "Anything." The second explosion was smaller but closer. The front of the sedan collapsed inward as something inside blew. The shock wave hit them in a hot gust, and the woman cried out, instinctively trying to curl away. Marco moved without thinking. He dropped over her, covering her body with his own, one hand shielding her head. A chunk of metal flew past and clanged against the road a few feet away. "Boss!" Ethan shouted, closer now. "Get the car ready," Marco barked back. "We're taking her with us." "You can't be serious." Now, Ethan. The woman's breath came fast against his neck. He could feel her heartbeat racing under his chest. Her fingers tightened in his shirt, holding on with surprising strength for someone who claimed not to remember anything. "Stay with me," he said quietly. She looked up at him, green eyes glassy with pain and shock. In the reflection of the flames, they looked almost unreal. "I don't know who I am," she whispered. "We'll figure it out later," he said. "Right now, I just need you alive." He pushed himself up and slid one arm under her knees, another behind her back. She gasped when he lifted her. "Hurts?" "Yes," she hissed. "But don't you dare drop me." He almost smiled. "Not planning to." The heat at his back was intense now. He carried her quickly toward the SUV. Ethan ran ahead, yanking the back door open. "Marco, think," Ethan said under his breath. "Blown car, armed woman, no plates on the sedan. This screams organized hit." "I know," Marco said. "And your answer is to bring her into your car?" "Yes." Ethan muttered something sharp under his breath, but climbed in first, making space. Marco placed the woman gently on the back seat. She gritted her teeth, one hand flying to her ribs. "I need you to stay awake," he told her. "Can you do that?" She forced her eyes open again. "You're very demanding for someone I just met. We're going to be in a moving car together. This is the friendly version of me." He nodded to Ethan. "Drive." The SUV peeled away from the scene just as the first police cruisers appeared at the far end of the highway. Blue and red lights reflected briefly on the rear window. In the back, Marco focused on the woman. Her breathing was shallow, sweat beaded at her hairline. Up close, he could see small burns along her forearm where the heat had kissed her skin. Her black hair smelled like smoke and gasoline. Under it, there was something else, a faint floral note, clean, controlled, expensive. He lifted the hem of her shirt with care, checking for more serious injuries. She flinched, then went still. "You're safe," he repeated. "I just need to see where it hurts." Under the shirt, bruises were already blooming along her ribs, darkening by the second. No broken skin, no protruding bones. That was something. And at her waist, he finally got a proper look at the gun. It was holstered at her hip, not in the sloppy way of someone who bought a weapon and never trained with it, but in a comfortable, practiced position that let her draw fast. The gun itself was clean and well-maintained. He slid it out, checked the safety, and kept it in his hand. Her fingers twitched. "Is that mine?" "It was at your waist." She pressed her lips together. Her eyes darted around the car, trying to find something, anything familiar. The leather seats, the tinted windows, Ethan's tense jaw in the driver's seat. Nothing seemed to land. "You really don't remember?" Marco asked. She swallowed. "I remember light, the road, a voice, male, angry, saying." Her eyebrows pulled together as she chased the thread of memory. "Saying what?" Marco prompted. Her face went blank. She shook her head, frustrated. "It's like hitting a wall. It's there, but when I reach for it, everything disappears." "We'll take it slow," he said. She turned her head toward him again, studying his face like she was checking if he was lying. "Who are you?" she asked quietly. "Marco," he said. He did not add DeLuca. "Not yet. I run a security operation." Ethan snorted softly at the wheel. Marco ignored him. "Security," she repeated, tasting the word. "That sounds important." "Some days," he said. She closed her eyes briefly, then forced them open again. "Where are we going?" "A doctor I trust will look at you." He paused. "Not a hospital. Too many questions." Her eyes flicked to the gun in his hand, then to Ethan, then to the dark road ahead. "You're not exactly legal, are you?" she asked. "Neither are you, judging by this," he replied, lifting the gun slightly. She frowned. "Maybe I'm a cop." Ethan actually laughed. "Yeah, sure." Marco shot him a look in the rearview mirror, and the laughter died. "What makes you so sure I'm not?" she asked, a spark of attitude pushing through her confusion. "You hold onto my wrist like you're ready to break it if I try something," Marco said. "You reached for the gun before you reached for your own head when you woke up, and you're too calm for someone who just crawled out of an exploding car." Her eyes dropped to where her fingers still circled his wrist. She loosened them slowly but did not let go completely. "Maybe I'm used to things blowing up," she murmured. He filed that away. "What do I call you?" he asked. She blinked. "I don't know." "Nothing comes to mind? A nickname? First letter? Language?" She shook her head, panic hovering at the edge of her expression. "It's like there's a blank space where my name should be." He saw the way that bothered her more than the pain in her ribs, more than the smoke, the fire, the weapon. Her identity had been ripped away in one violent flash, and now she was floating without any anchor. He reached out and brushed a stray strand of hair from her face. She watched his hand, not pulling away. "We'll pick something temporary," he said. "Just until you remember." Her lips parted. "You're going to name me?" "It's either that or I call you Hey You for the next few days. I don't recommend it." Despite everything, she let out a short, breathless laugh. It ended in a wince as her ribs protested. "Okay," she whispered. "Pick something." He thought for a moment. Names flickered through his head, each with a weight, a history. He wanted something simple, soft. Nothing that would tie her to his world or hers until they knew what they were dealing with. "Lena," he said finally. "You look like a Lena." She turned the name over in her mouth. "Lena, do you hate it?" he asked. She shook her head. "No, it feels, I don't know, like it fits, a little." "Then we'll use it for now." "Lena," she repeated, almost like she was teaching herself. "And you're Marco." "That's right." There was a strange warmth in his chest at the way she said his name, like they were meeting at some quiet bar instead of in the back of a speeding SUV after a fireball on the highway. The rest of the drive passed in tense silence. Her breathing steadied, but her hand did not leave his wrist. Each time the car hit a bump, she clenched her jaw against the pain and focused on his face, like it was her anchor to this moment. By the time they turned off the main road and started weaving through a more secluded industrial area, her eyes were heavy. "Stay with me, Lena," he reminded her. "I'm trying," she murmured. "Hard to do when your head feels like someone hit it with a truck." "We're almost there." The SUV finally rolled through a large gate, which closed behind them with a low mechanical hum. The building in front of them looked like an abandoned warehouse from the outside. Inside, it was anything but. Ethan parked, and Marco opened the door before the car had fully stopped. "Help me with her," he said. Together, they lifted Lena out of the SUV. The night air here was cooler, tinged with salt from the bay nearby and oil from the docks. Security cameras tracked their movement as they walked toward a side entrance. A man in his 50s waited by the door, white coat over dark clothes, glasses, calm eyes that did not miss much. "Rough night?" the doctor asked. "Car explosion on the highway."